Are you carrying the weight of past trauma and longing for a way to let it go? Today, I am going to give you the tools. We are going to talk about trauma, then I'm going to give you 3 ways that will help you shift it immediately. Let's go. Welcome to the Mattain, Attain the Life You Desire. I am Manal, your host, and I'm really excited about today's episode, episode 23, how to release past trauma from your body. Before we get started, one of the things that we hold in our body when we have trauma that we're holding is anxiety. I have a free workshop for you, Mastering Ease, Letting Go of Anxiety. Go to my website, www.mattain.me/anxiety. That's www.mattain.me/anxiety. And download now this free workshop that will give you tips and tricks to letting go of anxiety. So today we are talking about trauma. Trauma is a response to deeply disturbing event or events, and essentially it overwhelms our ability to cope. It takes over the 4 bodies. Our egoic body, we lose trust in life and we feel hopeless, and it diminishes our desire to live and our sense of self. And in the mental body, we feel like a victim and our thoughts are looping or sad or overwhelmed, and we just don't feel good mentally. Emotionally, we might repress our feelings, we might numb our feelings, we might feel sad, a very strong sense of deep sadness and disconnection from self overall. Physically, we might feel physical pain and fatigue, and ultimately trauma overtakes all 4 bodies. All 4 of our bodies, our egoic, our mental, our emotional, our physical. It may have been a single event or multiple events that happened over a long duration, and ultimately it has set us back. It could be acute trauma, something that happened singly. It could be chronic trauma, something that happened frequently or complex. It's resulting from various different dynamics. It really doesn't matter, but trauma does not feel good in the 4 bodies. So there are 3 strong antidotes that I'm going to suggest for trauma. Step 1. When we call it trauma, we identify with it as being a trauma victim and being trauma. And I recognize whatever happened, it was in the past. And if it's happening now, then, or it happened in the past and you did not acknowledge and become aware and sit and feel and honor your physical, your emotional, your mental, and be with the feelings that you have in an honor way, that's actually step 1. So I had something written down before for step 1, but step 1 is honoring your feelings, honoring the physical nature, the sensations that you feel, honoring the thoughts that you have, honoring the disruption it might have had in your beliefs in life, and just really recognizing that it's okay to feel bad. On a recent live, somebody talked about a recent traumatic experience where she had lost a child. And I said, well, have you allowed yourself to feel? And she said, no. So step 1 is allowing yourself to feel the range of emotions that's natural for one to feel when you're going through any life experience. And whether it happened years ago or happened recently, step 1 is just really allowing yourself to recognize, wow, there's my anger. Wow, there's my sadness. Wow, there's my frustration. Wow, there's my grief. Wow, there's the physical tension that I'm feeling in my body. And you may need to be supported in a strong environment where someone can hold you through that. Or you might be able to do it on your own. But really, the first step is really honoring the nature the feelings, the stories, the emotions, the disruption of your beliefs and the trust in life. Just truly honoring that. Now, assuming that you've done that and you've honored it, then step one, so that was step 0. Step 1 is we will stop calling it trauma. When you keep identifying it with trauma, you allow yourself to live, relive, and live and relive it as trauma. And at one point, maybe you can reframe it and recognize that it was a life experience. A life experience. And just by nature of shifting it from calling it a traumatic experience to a life experience allows a lot of shift in how you feel. Trauma feels heavy, it feels scary, it feels like a lot of pain and a lot of resistance and a lot of sadness. There's a low, and once you see something happen traumatic, that weighs on all 4 of the bodies in a very strong way. But when you start to say it was a life experience, you allow yourself to shift it into recognizing that it's the natural unfolding of life, that experiences allow you to grow and expand, that experiences are a natural part of the unfolding of human life. And so that single reframe lifts a lot of heaviness, and it stops you from identifying as a victim, as trauma. So step 1 is reframe it. After you went through step 0 and honored and acknowledged all of the feelings, all of the thoughts, all of the misbeliefs, all of the physical changes that happened to your body. So step 0 is honoring it. So you've honored it, and you've processed it, and you've allowed it, and you've seen it. And step 1 goes to just shifting it from trauma to a life experience. And now it's time to grow and expand from it. Step 2 is very similar. It did not happen to you, but for you. This life experience did not happen to you, but for you. So with this strong shift in recognizing that it happened for you rather than to you, you become empowered. It goes back to how am I meant to grow from this? How am I meant to expand from this? How can I help others from this? How can I become a better person from this? How do I grow into myself from it? So you start to really shift from being a victim of the experience of somebody else, of life, to allowing it to empower you to become a better you. How did this help me and enable me to become a better me? Very powerful. So 1, frame it. It's not trauma, life experience. And step 2, it did not happen to you, it happened for you. Step 3 is, again, it's all in the same vein. It's all the same theme. It's how do I make it my superpower? So 1, I reframed it. It didn't happen. It isn't trauma. It's a life experience. Step 2, it didn't happen to me, happened for me. Step 3 is I'm now going to shift it to be my superpower. That this really strong past life experience helped me define very strongly what my personal desires are. It helped me really see the difference from what is undesired to what is desired. It took me from being unempowered to absolutely empowered. It took me from not having a voice to being an advocate. There are so many people that life experience has either done one of 2 things. Some people shut down and some people turn on. They become an advocate. They change the world. There's a lot of people that I can think of right now that have changed the world from a life experience that happened rather than to them, for them. So it doesn't need to be in large scales. It doesn't have to be in a scale like a Mandela. It doesn't have to be in a scale like a Terry Fox. It doesn't have to be in a scale of a Gandhi. But it could be in a scale of you. How do you allow that past experience that happened for you to be your superpower? And again, if the experience happened this moment, you're not ready for it to be your superpower. You need to process it and allow yourself to see it not as something heavy, but as an experience, and not as to you, as for you. And then ultimately, how do I allow it to empower me for it to be my superpower? So trauma is life experiences that has happened and can happen to any of us. And when we frame it as trauma, we allow ourselves to continue to live with that resistance in our four bodies, our physical, our emotional, our mental, and our egoic. But when we start to reframe it and recognize that I'm going to, after I've processed and acknowledged it and seen it and felt it and really allowed myself to feel all of the emotions and understand all of the impact of this on my physicality, my physical experience, my mental, my beliefs, then I'm going to say, how do I own this life experience? How do I see how it becomes something that happens for me, and how does it ultimately become my superpower, so it can make me a stronger, better person, and I can also raise those around me from the experience that I have had in life. So I am so excited that you are here, that you're listening to this, that you're ready to reframe your life experiences for it to empower you to grow and expand, and for you to be and have the life that you desire. I hope you join me next week, and if you like this, you will absolutely love my free workshop, Mastering Ease, Letting Go of Anxiety. Go to my website, www.mattain.me/anxiety. That's www.mattain.me/anxiety. Download my free workshop. It's a short video, 20 minutes, and it will give you tools and tricks and tips about mastering ease and letting go of anxiety, because all muscles, everything we talked about in our week-to-week podcast, are muscles to let us build stronger muscles in our physical, emotional, mental, and egoic bodies, so we ultimately can live the life that we desire and have a life that feels like it's easy, it's allowing, it's happy, it's free, and it's worthy. Thank you so much for being here. So excited to see you again next week. My love, always.